Hey everybody, this is Stitch1993 here, doing my little series of counting down the days till Switch 2, which as the recording of this video is June 5th. And yeah, I've just been, for the past, couple days now, I've been talking about my different thoughts on the Switch, mainly the Switch games here. And, if you like just hearing me talk about Switch games and just kind of gushing over the games I've played and I've enjoyed, definitely look forward to, I'm doing these all the way up to June 5th there. And today I'm going to talk about surprising releases on the Switch. So what I mean by surprising is like one of two things. Like, either it's like I didn't ever think we would get this type of game on the Switch, or like I would never think we would get this game at all on the Switch. I'll go through each game and kind of explain my thought process. So we'll start with the first one here. So this one was like rumored for like forever that it was coming out, and then it did, and like Nintendo doing what Nintendo does, being the weird little company that it is, decided to do some stuff that like probably wasn't in the best interest of everybody. So the first one is going to be Super Mario 3D All-Stars. So why is it surprising? Even though it was like rumored. Well, it's a rumor. It's kind of surprising that half the rumors, come true, especially this one where it's like, oh yeah, it's going to be a Mario All-Star game, but instead of the 2D games, it's going to be 3D games. Now, when this was like announced, when this was rumored, it was like, it's going to have Mario 64, Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2, Mario 3D World, Mario 3D Land, and the stuff from Super Mario 64 DS. And then it gets announced, and it's like, yes, but no. So all we got was Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy. It also came with like audio tracks on the game itself, like not even like a CD disc you can like, or like a download code. No, they were like on the Switch, so the only way you could listen to the songs was through the Switch. Was so weird. So it's like, and then it's just the 64 version of Mario. There's nothing that was included in the DS version of the game. Super Mario 64 is just the weird little game that it is in general. And then the omit Super Mario Galaxy 2. And then, that same day, I believe, we got the announcement that Super Mario 3D World was going to get its own release with the Bowser's Fury attached to that. So, and like no mention of Super Mario 3D Land at all. So yeah, this is like almost as bare bones as you can get for this thing. And then on top of that, it's just like, it's only going to be available through like like 6 months from then. Because I think this got announced in like, I don't know. It got announced in 2020, and I think it like stopped being produced sometime in maybe 2021. Yeah. And then it was $60 on top of that. And then but it was funny. It was like, even after they like stopped producing the game and they took it off the eShop, you could still find this game in like Walmart and stuff for like the longest time. It took forever for this game to like officially like not be available in stores. And even nowadays, you can like go into GameStop and find a couple copies. I know now it's kind of like gone up in price, but like for the longest time, it was just like it kind of was like $50-$60, give or take there. Yeah, so you could like, even after you're like, this game is no longer available, you could like still go into like Walmart and they'd have like a whole like rack of them. It depends on the Walmart. They might still have some in their cases there. You just gotta look. But yeah, but it was just kind of surprising that that was one of the rumors that got announced. The next one, like, I don't think this was we ever got rumors of this, like, at all. This was just like, what? Like as soon as the trailer dropped, we're like, is this gonna be just a re-release? This is gonna be on the Nintendo Switch Online? Nope, full-on remake from the bottom up of this game, which people have been asking for ages, especially like starting around like the Wii era, is when like this game really got its cult classic status. So yeah, but like it is like, oh yeah, here's the game back, here's Gino, here's Mallow, and it's not even just like us porting the game from the SNES. No, this is a totally basically new game from the ground up, with some quality of life features on top of it. And I was like, but you can still toggle between, like for the music, you can toggle between the new orchestrated soundtrack or the original soundtrack, and everybody's just like, yes, please, thank you. So yeah, it was just nuts that this game came out. And it was kind of like, I don't have the other two, but like then like within a 12-month period, we got 3 surprised Mario RPGs that we were like, we never thought we would get on the Switch. So it was like this one came first, and then in the I don't even think this game had come out yet, but like this got announced in, I think, the June Direct, and then that following September Direct we get Thousand Year Door HD remake announced, and then like in the June Direct after that we get the announcement that we're getting a new Mario and Luigi game, the Brothership game. So like all 3 were surprises to varying degrees, depending on who you ask, because like all 3 of those were like, well, okay, this one and Thousand Year Door people have been begging for remasters and ports of, and then Mario and Luigi, like the Alpha Dream just was releasing games in the 3DS days after the Switch had come out, and the bomb, and like they went out of business, unfortunately. So we're like, all right, we are never going to get another Mario and Luigi game. And then we did. And we're just like, what? Okay, cool, awesome. So yeah, so that happened. Speaking of games we would never see, I mean, there's a couple of these are just surprising because we just never thought we'd get a sequel of this one. I've talked about it. This is in my top 10 favorite games, and it's new Pokemon Snap, sequel to the Pokemon Snap game that came out on the N64. I think Snap got its cult status about the same time. Like most of these like older games like N64 and SNES games kind of got the cult classic status because they were getting re-released through the Virtual Console on the Wii. So like a new generation of people were like finding out about these games, or like, kids that were like only like 4 or 5 when the game came out are now in like middle school and high school now, and now are able to like play all these games for a lot cheaper than what they costed originally. And so they're just like, wow, this was a fun game. We haven't gotten a sequel yet. Why? And like with Pokemon Snap, it's like we had 2 consoles that would have been perfect for it. We had the Wii, which had the motion controls, which would have been amazing for camera controls, and then we had the Wii U, which had the iPad. And everybody thought, all right, this is the console we're going to get Pokemon Snap for, or Pokemon Snap 2 for. Nope. And also now the blue, we get friggin' Pokemon Snap announced in like 2020, released in 2021, 2022, by Bandai Namco, helped create this game there, so it wasn't even by Game Freak, and they knocked it out of the park, because like this is the way to do a sequel. Like you got more areas, you got more Pokemon, you got more different settings. So like the original Pokemon Snap only had like 7, 8, 9 lands, and they were all like 5 minutes ish, like just on the rail, little go around and take pictures. But this one has like 20 of them, and different you can always find different routes, and then they have a day and night cycle, which that even provides more different Pokemon. And then, we got free DLC, which included even more areas. The pictures you took, you could then edit in the edit mode and share on the Nintendo Switch online through the game itself, and people would rate them and stuff. And yeah, this was just like it is the sequel to, like, compares like other sequels too, especially when it's got a gap like that. Same with this, but like to a lesser degree. So like Endless Ocean was just this cute little franchise on the Wii, and we got two of them. We got Endless Ocean, and then we got Endless Ocean Blue World, and I believe both games did pretty okay. It was just a scuba diving game, kind of like Pokemon Snap, but you weren't on rails. You could pretty much like explore to your heart's content. And for the Wii, those graphics looked, the creatures, the sea creatures looked really cool. I remember the first game when it came out, I really got into, because I've always been interested in the abyss, which is like the lowest area of the ocean. It's where all the really weird sea creatures go to. And I would like, back in middle school, I would just like watch YouTube videos like pretty much almost all day just on abyss creatures and stuff like that. And there's like an aquarium, Ripley's Believe It or Not aquarium, in when I was in middle school as well, that they would do different like there was one little area of the aquarium they would do like themes, and one of the themes was the abyss, where somehow they got like abyss creatures there, and you could like see them face to face. It was just like the coolest thing ever. So I've always been, and still am, just really in awe of what all is down there. It helped that there was the anglerfish and Finding Nemo. So anyway, so like the first game had that. I have the second game. I haven't played it yet, but I'm not sure if the Abyss came back. But the Abyss did come back from this. Now, the issues people had with this one was, unlike the first two, where it was different levels and you had a story and stuff, this one was like procedurally generated worlds. So every time you went out to dive, it was going to be like a different location you didn't really know was going to show up. And the biggest issue they had was there's all these collectibles, but the collectibles are at random as well. And like sometimes you would get the same collectible multiple times, and for some people it was too much. I can understand, those issues, but I personally didn't mind that, and so I actually thoroughly enjoyed the game. The game looks freaking gorgeous, and like and it included a multiplayer mode, which I don't think the Wii versions had, like online multiplayer mode, with up to I think 30 people online. So that was cool. But yeah, I just was like, it was really surprising. All right, so this is like really surprising for like just of how odd this game is, and it is more so the sequel. So like, okay, so this is Deadly Premonition Origins. This was like this weird game that I think came out on like the Xbox 360 back in the day, and like it got pretty bad reviews because of how janky it was. And then Nintendo was like, we're gonna make a sequel for this, or publish a sequel for this, and to get people into knowing what this is, we're gonna release, or we're gonna have a company release this game, the first game, on the Switch there. And yep, it's still janky. It's a weird little Resident Evil style game, with like Twin Peaks vibes to it. I didn't mind it so much. I didn't really like the ending. I kind of, that type of ending I kind of hate. There, I won't go into it, but just like, I don't like when there's like, I don't know, I don't really want to go into it, but it just, I didn't like the ending there. But it was a weird little game. It was just kind of surprising that it was like, and I may be wrong, but I think Nintendo was the one publishing the sequel, and they had somebody, or it might have been this Arc Sys that was doing both of them. But still, it was just really weird that this game came out, like, out of all the games that from this 360 PS3 era that would come out and get new life, get a sequel, this of all games was one of them. Nier Automata was just, it was surprising that this got released on the Switch, because like this is I mean, yeah, it's a PS3 game, but it's a pretty chunky PS3 game. And what I mean by that, it has got some stuff in it. Like, like sometimes people were like wondering, is like, could the Switch even run this game? And like, yeah, not only could the Switch run it, but like the Switch could run it really good. And the I think the ad included like some DLC or something to it, but it was like, it just like, as soon as it released, everybody's like, whoa, that is just, we didn't think this was ever going to come to the Switch. Because again, this was like on the PS3 360 era type of stuff. And yeah, it's one of those interesting games that has different like multiple endings. So yeah, going back to Nintendo, we just thought this series was dead. We kind of had made our peace that we were just never going to get another Advance Wars game. And then this game almost didn't come out either, because of reasons. So like, this got announced back in like, what was it, 2022, 2020? You had to be like 2022, maybe 2021. It got announced a while, and then, literally like a month before it was supposed to get released, a certain war broke out, and Nintendo's like, we're gonna hold off on releasing this. And then we like heard nothing about it, and we're like, is this canceled? Is this what happened? I remember there was one story that like the people that like pre-ordered it for like digital, one person like, it glitched and it went ahead and downloaded the game, and then when that release date hit, it like unlocked and he like play the game, and Nintendo was like, tried to like sent him like a DMC something where he's like, nah, you gotta cease and desist this, or we're gonna come after you. So we thought, oh dang, this is just we're never gonna see the light of this. Is gonna be just vaporware. And then, no, finally it was just like, yep, it's releasing. It's like releasing next month. And we're like, oh crap. So yeah, and then it didn't really do that well sales wise. So we've also made our peace again that we're never going to see another game of this. My main complaint is, it has the first two Advance Wars games on it. However, you have to finish the first one like completely before 2 is unlocked. You can't just play either or. You have to play, at least from what I've played of it, you have to play 1 and then 2 will unlock, which is kind of ridiculous. I think it should be, both should have been unlocked from the get-go. But yeah, and some people had complaints about the look of it. It looks too toyish. I'm just like, get over yourselves. It's Nintendo. Pretty much most of their games look toyish. Yeah, I'm like, this looks perfectly fine. And honestly, I love the new art style. Like, good lord, come on. There's so many better things to complain about than a freaking art style that doesn't look half dang bad. Alright, so Bugsnax was like, I think it was a PS5 exclusive game. Like, I think it was like a launch title for the PS5, and I was like, oh, cool. Well, when I get a PS5, that will be like one of the first games I get. And then it got released for the Switch. I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm getting it for the Switch. And it runs fine. I'm like, I was worried. I was like, oh man, it's like a Switch. I don't think the Switch could even run this game. And no, it's like perfectly fine. I don't even think there was any updates for it. It just like pop the cartridge in, boop, you're ready. And yeah, fun little Pokemon Snap first adventure collecting game. Yeah, it's just a weird little game. We just didn't think we would see Doom on the Switch. That's just all of it. We just didn't think we'd just like, it was like, boom, here's Doom. And we're like, oh, cool, thank you. This was a Microsoft game. This was a Microsoft Obsidian game. And we're just like, we're getting Microsoft game. I mean, we had gotten some Microsoft games in the past, but they were like smaller games, like in length. This was like a longer game. So it was just kind of cool that we got this. Just in general. And then finally, this was like the most recent thing. We got a Horizon game on the Switch. Like, okay, yeah, it's Lego, but I'm like, this is one of Sony's biggest brands right now for the PS. Like, they are really pushing this series, which I'm fine with because I freaking love this series. I'm like, when they were like, yeah, we're going to do a Lego Horizons game, we're like, cool. And it's coming out to the Switch. I'm like, say no more. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Horizon series. I've got the first two. I've played through what I mean, first two. That's all. Well, I guess you can say there's that VR game there. And I guess we're eventually going to get a third game as well as a movie or a TV show or something like that. But yeah, it was like, here we go. Here is on the Switch, Sony Interactive. Yeah, I was like, huh, I guess just, it's what, I think the whole thing is because it was Lego, it like had to come out for the Switch because of like, the Nintendo brand, or not Nintendo brand, but the Switch is like the bigger seller of the Lego games, like, because that's where most of the, audience is for Lego games, from what, you know, I'm assuming. But yeah, this, I haven't played it yet. I do know it plays differently than most Lego games, which is fine because Lego's kind of been branching out into more different genres and stuff recently, which is I love because that's what they used to do. Is like every game was different. It wasn't until Lego Star Wars that they kind of all started being like that, and after a while it did start getting a little stale. So I am loving that they are branching back out again. And yeah, what are the games that you were surprised came to the Switch? Whether you were surprised that they could run on the Switch, or just surprised that we got a sequel, or just surprised that it came to the console just in general. I've still got quite a few of these videos that I'm going to go over. As I said, I'm talking about these all the way up through the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. So if you enjoyed this video and have enjoyed past videos, make sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye.